Hey, it's Racquetball Tim again. We are going to continue this gameplay analysis for the other Tim. Tim is serving right now. Maria is returning. This is game two. Maria won the first game. Tim is looking to even the match. Let's see how he does and see if I can help him with this game. He likes that backhand serve. It's it to Maria's backhand. She goes ceiling. So there's a good one right there. Let that ball drop, Tim. We talked about this in the first video. Let's see how your mechanics are here. So she hits the serve that comes off, she hits a shot, that comes off the back. You want to shuffle back. Knee should be bent. Should be nice and low. Racket should be up. I know you've been working on this since since your visit. Do a nice job getting behind the ball. See how you get behind it, and then you're shuffling forward. That's exactly what I want to see. And if you just be a little more patient and let this ball drop, you can actually take that shot right down the line pretty consistently. Very easy way to score a point in racquetball is a shot that comes off the back wall, 5 to 6 feet, and you just rip it down the line, and you're gonna win the rally almost every time. This one comes off the back, same deal. That one you actually let drop a little bit. Let's see how low that was. Racket should be up a little bit more. Racket should be up, still down, and now you have it up. Still not quite high enough, actually. You're not going to get much power from where you're swinging to where the ball is. You get that racket up nice and high, you're going to get a lot more power. Try to think baseball players. They have their baseball hitters, actually. They have the bat up every single time. It's never down. So let's see, full extension, and you let the ball drop. It looks pretty good right here. You just didn't get much power because your racket wasn't up, but this is not bad right here. Let's see your follow through. Oh, you got the nose picker going on there. The nose picker is when your left arm comes up. It doesn't follow around. We talked about this. You love that phrase, the nose picker. So it blocks off your hips. It blocks off your rotation. Try to get that left arm leading you through the zone, and you can better pivot. You can better rotate, and you really rip the ball that way. I'll try to look for another good example of that later on so I can better explain the nose picker. It's a great pass by Maria. Oh, you almost had it. So it's just a good pass. So you got stuck out of position. Your return wasn't that strong. Ceiling ball return to the backhand is going to win you more rallies than you might expect in racquetball. Just take their return, flick it to the ceiling to their backhand, and you'd be surprised how many rallies you win. It's just the most underused shot in the game. When my opponent hits a serve, if it's a good serve, I'm going ceiling. If it's a bad one, I'm going to rip a pass. That's basically my overall strategy on serve return. So you're in position, get that racket up. So when an opponent hits a wide angle pass like this, see Maria hits this wide angle pass. Wide angle pass hits the front wall, then the side wall, wraps around the opponent. You want to get that racket up right here, Tim, so you can track it. And you can get behind it, and when you're this far out of position and the ball is, behind you, you just got to flick that to the ceiling. I think you couldn't because your racket was down. If your racket was prepped and ready, you could have got behind that and flick it up to the ceiling. There's no reason to go for an offensive shot there. You're just too far out of position. You're only going to hit it like 1 in 10 times maybe if you're lucky. That's a great save right there. Get back in position, down the line. Wow. Look at this rally. Oh, little avoidable hinder there. She played it. It happens. Penalty hinder, actually. I don't know why they changed the name of that rule. I keep calling it avoidable, but it's a penalty hinder. Most B players don't play penalty hinders. I think it just really helps your game, and I think you should play it. Let's see if that was an ace. That looked like a pretty good serve. Let's see if I could help you with your position here. So you're down and ready. Nice. Looks good. Racket's in neutral position. Pretty far back in the court. Looks good. Let's see if you start leaning one way or the other. The point of contact, it's hard to tell what serve she's hitting right here. She does mix up her her serve pretty well, and she'll mix in the down the line with the cross court. Looks like you saw it. Yeah, it was a good serve. I'm not sure why you didn't move for that one. I guess it was a really good serve, but what I like to do with my head right here, see your head is kind of upright and straight. I like to really crank my neck to the side a little bit, and I really want to see the ball leave their racket and hit the front wall. That's the key for me on my serve return. I want to see the ball leave their racket and hit the front wall. I don't want to see the ball as it's coming past them after it's hit the front wall because I just lose too much time. The guys I play against hit 120 mile an hour serves, 130 mile an hour serves, and I want to make sure that I'm seeing it hit the front wall so it gives me extra time. I feel like your head's a little upright and you probably didn't see this, or you were looking cross court and then it was just too late. The serve was so good that even if you had reacted, it was just too late. So try to really get down and ready and crank your head and see that serve. That's another good serve, but it was short. Great angle there. So she likes that second serve Z. There it is. That one came way off the back, and you really got to watch for this. This is an easy setup. This is an easy setup. So where she's hitting the Z is like center court. It's really hard to hit a Z from center court that isn't going to come off the back because of the angle. The angle is heading that way, and it's heading toward the back. A good Z is actually going to head this way and hit the sidewall and have spin on it. But from where she's hitting this, you should have recognized right away that it's coming off the back. Look at that. That's an easy setup. If you just wait for it, and contact it right there. Look at how easy that shot is. If you just had a little more patience, you got that nice down the line I talked about earlier. Okay, so watch for that on the second serve, Tim, or first serve, Z serve that comes off the back. Look, I can see you're thinking about it right now. You're looking at me after the rally. That's one cool thing about you is when something goes wrong, you recognize it right away, and it's something that you can fix. I always tell people, if you don't know what's going wrong, you're never going to be able to fix it. That's got to be a down the line again, Tim. I recommend, just in general, based on what I've seen from your visit and from these videos, hit a lot more down the line pass on the backhand side in particular. This ball's too high again and too close to your body. But yeah, hit that down the line pass. You're hitting this, I think, cross court. I'm not sure where you're aiming here. Cross court's to Maria's forehand. That's to her strength. In general, most people have a stronger forehand than backhand. So down the line pass on the backhand side is just a much better shot. I always try to go 80-15-5. 80% down the line, 15% cross court, 5% splatter pinch. Just kind of a general rule, and of course I adjust that based on who I'm playing. The serve's probably a little too good to shoot. Let's see how you did here. Crossover. Racket should be up. When you cross over, that racket should be up by your left ear. So this serve's coming off the back, actually. When a drive serve hits the dotted line, it's coming off the back 100% of the time. Unless it's got a weird angle that it's hitting the sidewall, and even then it's going to come off the back. I can't think of a situation where it wouldn't come off the back when it hits the dotted line. A good drive serve hits, let's see if I can zoom in here, hits 1 to 2 inches away from this line right here. This is where the pros are aiming right here. That's a bad serve to them. This is a short serve. They're looking for that middle line right there. Because the margin for error is pretty small on a drive serve, especially one like this. This is a 5-foot long serve. Like she's aiming for the short line, and this hits the dotted line, which is 5 feet behind the short line. So this is 100% coming off the back wall. I would have waited for it and taken it off the back right down the line. If you're not going to wait for it, this ball's on you too much. It's just too quickly. Look where her position is. She's shaded far to the right and forward. I mean, ceiling ball down the line. Get her deep in the court, and you're going to win the rally most of the time. Trying to shoot this ball, you're only going to win the rally some of the time. It's just too difficult to shoot. The ball gets on you too quickly. There's another one where you didn't move. I think the serve was short. But yeah, look at, you're leaning to the left. So you're kind of guessing. You're leaning left. Your head's not watching the ball. So really try to crank your neck and watch the ball leave their racket. Fortunately for you, that was short, because you were definitely beat on that one. I think serve return is going to be one area that you're going to be able to really improve your game on, just by incorporating a simpler strategy. Ceiling ball off a good serve, and a bad one you take down the line on the pass. Oh, you got to pinch that right there. Okay, perfect time to pinch right here. So let's talk about shot selection. Maria takes the right shot. She goes down the line, but she misses it. Now she's behind you. She's in the back half of the court. You want to leave the ball in the front half of the court. Passes are designed to take the ball to the back of the court, which is what you try to hit. You try to hit a pass. She's already behind you, so you're hitting the ball right to her. You want to hit the ball to the front of the court, so the best shot to hit in this situation would be a pinch in that front left corner. Even if you hit it poorly, you can win the rally a lot of the times. If you hit it properly, you're just always going to win the rally. She's just too far back. She can't cover a pinch. Down the line pass, good. Oh, you got a nice little bounce there. So let that ball drop, and your level will go up, but you still hit the right shot here. Let this drop. It's just too high. That's too high. You want to hit a pass that's 1 to 2 feet high, and you contacted the ball, 3 to 4 feet high, and no surprise, the ball's high on the front wall. Okay? I know that's something that you're always working on, and I don't want to harp on it too much, like I said last video, but it's hard not to. Letting the ball drop is such a simple way to fix your game. As Maria demonstrates really good shoe tying mechanics. Let's fast forward a little bit here. Not exciting watching someone tie their shoe. Sorry. Although it does give you a chance to breathe. I don't mind when my opponent ties their shoe, unless they're tired and I'm not. That serve's just too long. Came off the back. Good position though, and there's a good shot. Perfect. Serve, return, kill. So the serve came off the back. Maria should have really let it drop more, and she would have put the shot away. It's too high. But you do a nice job covering it down the line. Pinch is the right shot because she's behind you, just as I talked about previously. I think you tried to pinch it and you hit the front wall first. You got to work on that. Those drills we were doing, where you drop the ball to your left, cross over with your racket up, and then pinch it into the left corner. I hope you remember those drills because they're really useful. But in terms of mechanics, right here, again, you're crossing over with your right foot and the racket is down. So your right foot is attached to your racket. It's a mental attachment. When that right foot moves, the racket should come up to your left ear. Just try to remember that, and you'll have more success pinching balls like that. I think you knew you hit a bad one there, but because she was so far back, it did work out. It worked out fine. This looks like a lob nick. Yep, beautiful. Maria goes to the ceiling. You respect her ceiling ball, and you missed it. So now look, you're thinking again, and you knew you should have taken it off the back and hit it down the line. I love that about you, Tim. It's the best way for you to improve is to recognize what you're doing right and wrong, and then be able to improve it. So this was a good serve, but you didn't see it. You should be moving right about now. If you watch Kane Wasylenchuk, the #1 player in the world, watch him return a drive serve. It's amazing how quickly he moves. Like he'd be moving right now. He would already know it's a drive serve to the backhand. I think it's because he's just so in tune with the racket hitting the ball and where in the contact zone, within their contact zone, the server is hitting that. So he'll know that ball is a little bit far forward. It's going to be a cross-court drive serve. So this is a pretty good drive, good angle. Came off the back, and she got that good bounce where you're not sure if it was going to come out or stay in the corner. But I think if you move earlier on this, you're going to be able to get that and flick it to the ceiling. We'll give her some credit. It was a good serve. But try to stay low and try to watch that ball hit their strings and hit the front wall. Super important. Another good serve and a perfect shot. Ceiling ball. Just ease up on it a bit. It was too hard. Okay, so good shot on the first one. She is to the she's behind you and to the left. Down the line pass is not the worst shot there. She should go cross court here, or sorry, down the line. And she does, but she misses it. Now, when you're in trouble like this, you just got to go ceiling. Flick that to the ceiling. There's no point of hitting this shot. That shot has no purpose whatsoever. So when you're in trouble, just flick that racket up and take it to the ceiling. Sorry, flick that ball up and take it to the ceiling. This is a really good one where you threw racket down. Look at that racket. It's in your holster. You got the racket in the holster. And the last second you bring it up, but you're only getting that much power. You would have had so much more power. Look at this contact point. It's beautiful. Full extension, a little high, but look at that, full extension. So you know you have the swing. It's in there, and you just got to let it come out by having that racket up much earlier. I always use the example of like an archer pulling back the bowstring before he shoots. He doesn't pull it back at the last second. He pulls it back early and then aims his bow and then shoots. So having your racket up is kind of like having the string pulled back on a bow. Archery references. That's a great save off the back there. Pinch or down the line. Yep, that works too. So it was a pinch until she moved so far forward. Normally I pinch this, but look how far forward she went. She was covering the pinch. So you just went down the line. Perfect. Beautiful. If I play an opponent who likes to do that, like to guess on my shot, then I definitely would take the pass most of the time if they're going to guess pinch. But if they hold their position behind the dotted line, then I got to pinch that because they're just too far back. And that's an interesting time to hit a reverse pinch. So she is in front of you, which means you want to pass. You got the ball at full extension, and you hit a nice pinch, reverse pinch there. It's a low percentage shot, but we're going to give you credit. It was well executed. Looks like the lob nick again. It's working pretty well. Came off the back though. She takes it down the line. Pinch. Ceiling. Oh, good save. Good job fighting back to center court. Nice. Look at you surviving. Get back, get back. Oh, and then there's the dive. So close. Excellent work getting back to center court. The shots that get you in trouble are the ones where you're stretching or reaching and you're kind of out of position, and then you just hit you hit a shot that's like this high in the front wall that has no purpose whatsoever. You're gonna have to just work on ceiling ball drills, tossing the ball anywhere on the court, chasing it and flicking a ceiling. I love that drill. I'll stand behind the dotted line, just toss the ball behind me blindly, and then just run back and hit a ceiling ball. It's a great way to practice getting out of trouble in racquetball. I think people try too much in racquetball. They try to hit shots when they shouldn't, or they try to hit offensive shots when they shouldn't, and they don't hit enough ceiling balls. It's a good save. Good job getting back in position, and Maria skips it. So I definitely like your court position, Tim. You seem to always want to get back to center court, and that's such a huge part of racquetball. Being in position just gives you, a higher percentage of shots that you can cover, and that's a great cover right there. Only reason you got that is because you're fighting back to get center court, fighting back to center court. So you took that reverse pinch again here at the wrong time. Should have passed here, and you gave her a nice easy one. But look at you, hustled back to center, and you were able to cover a pretty good shot here. Look at this, boom, nice. And you beat her with a wide angle pass. That's just pure hustle right there. Sticking with that backhand lob nick. That's a lob kick actually. Maria goes to the ceiling. So I like the ceiling ball there. You got to keep those off the back though. Work on that finesse of the ceiling ball. It's definitely a finesse shot. It's not. That's a good pass by Maria. A ceiling ball is definitely a finesse shot. Racquetball's a funny game. You can swing 3 or 4 times in a row as hard as you can, and then you just have to hit this nice soft ceiling ball. And that's one of the reasons I like racquetball, is that diversity of shots. So if you're struggling with your ceiling ball and you're watching this video, aim for the first set of lights on most courts, or 5 to 6 feet from the front wall, and try to keep it from coming off the back. If your ceiling balls are coming off the back, that's a great pass, Tim. If your ceiling balls are coming off the back, you're either hitting them way too hard or you're hitting them too far forward on the front wall. You're probably hitting them 1 to 2 feet from the front wall, and that's going to bring them off the back wall. So the first adjustment I always try to make is hit them farther back, 5 to 6 feet from the front wall, or aim for the first set of lights. And then the second adjustment I make is to try to take a little bit of power off them. That's a smart shot there. She's out of position. Just take it down the line. Doesn't require too much there. But yeah, court position, shot selection, those are 2 of the easiest ways to improve your game. And you got the court position, Tim. I definitely like what I'm seeing there. Look, you're fighting back to center court again. You had that one. And that's just racket prep. Watch your racket. Cross over. Racket still down. Should be up. And last second you bring it up. And it's just, all you have is, watch. Here's what you have. Right there to there. That's your power. You have from there to there. That's just not much power. Whereas when I cross over, or the proper way for when you cross over is to have that racket way up by your ear, and you get a lot more power, a lot more racket prep, and you get, as a result, a lot more options. You get many options in terms of which shot you want to hit because your racket's already up, and the ball's sitting there going, where do you want to hit me? Whereas when you have your racket down, the ball's just like, you have to hit me exactly where I am. The ball's dictating your shot. That's a big mistake there by Maria. She hit that ball way too high. So you really want to manipulate the ball. You want to get your racket up so that you get to tell the ball what it has to do. You don't want the ball telling you what you're going to do. It's a good job getting behind it and hitting a pretty good shot off of a tough wallpaper shot. Thought you did a good job there. Those wallpaper shots can be difficult. The ball was so close to the wall. That's what we call a wallpaper. Get that serve. Oh, good shot by Maria. Did you get that? I think you got it. No? Yep. The diving return kill. Let's see that one. She hits another good serve. Her serve really stepped up here. Just the angle. It definitely coming off the back because of where it's bouncing. It's 1 to 2 feet behind the dotted line. Maybe a foot. It's coming off the back. and took a weird bounce. Did you get it? Yeah, you did get it. And you killed it. Wow, nice job. That's not easy to do. There's that lob nick. Maria hasn't done too much with it. There's a nice easy setup. Get your racket up, let it drop. Oh, that's pretty good right there, actually. That's a great shot. So pretty good shots here, a couple of good shots in a row here. I'm assuming that you had been thinking about your mechanics throughout the game, and you made some adjustments. This is a pretty good racket prep. It's up a little bit. Your left arm tends to get in the way. Left arm should not be there. It should be below your racket. I'm not sure why it's above your racket. It doesn't quite know what to do. The left arm's like, what do I do? Look at that, full extension, and the right shot's down the line pass, which you tried to hit, just missed it. Let's see your follow through here. Yeah, good follow through. The only thing I don't like is your right foot is stepping directly sideways, stepping this way. And I'll use a different color here. It should be stepping that way, 45 degrees or toward the front right corner. When you step sideways, you're blocking off your hips and your momentum is traveling toward the left wall. But you're trying to hit the ball toward the front wall. So you're kind of crossing up your own momentum. You're shifting your weight sideways but trying to hit the ball forward. It's counterintuitive. You want to get your momentum traveling forward. Okay? So on the backhand side, your right foot should step directly toward that corner, which opens up your hips and gets your weight shifting forward, which is why I always say get behind the ball so you can get your weight shifting forward, and then you'll be able to hit a lot harder, and you'll have more options. So let's see here. Let's see if the ball gets behind you. The ball's kind of behind you. You're not quite behind the ball, and you step sideways because of where the ball is. If you had been behind the ball, then you get to step forward and into your shot. So you're only going to get a little bit of power here. And look at your left foot's actually just flying out of there. It should be rotating, but it's flying out because of how far you step sideways. I'm not saying this never happens in racquetball, but on a setup like this, you definitely should have perfect mechanics on a setup. Good shot, though. That was the right shot. And then right here, rack it up. Full extension, and you hit pretty good down the line there. Nice job. So we can see all this potential in there, Tim. It's all coming out. We got hopefully some future sessions together when you get back here in Las Vegas. And I know you've been working on your game and practicing, so I'm looking forward to seeing how your game progresses for sure. Maria's got to shoot that ball. She likes to go ceiling off of serves that come off the back, so she needs to let that ball drop and rip it. So you might as well stick with that serve if she's going to take it to the ceiling. That time she did shoot it. Down the line. Get in position, Tim. Rack it up. It's not... Well, I don't hate that shot because it was within your hitting zone. Sidearm pass or overhead pass is not the worst shot, but your racket was down. Rack it up. Have I ever said that before? Get your racket up? I think so. I did. Let's see what you do on the second serve. This time she goes with second serve, drive serve. Wow, that's just too hard to shoot. Well, maybe not. I might have shot. Yeah, I would have shot this ball. Looks like your head's not quite on the ball. You're looking forward a little bit. There's a video of Roger Federer, my favorite tennis player, on YouTube, and it says Forehand Mechanics in slow motion. You can Google it. You can take a look at it. And you got to watch how long his eyes stay on the ball or the contact point. Even after the ball has left his racket, his eyes are still at the point of contact. And it looks to me like your head is not quite on the ball here. You're actually looking forward a bit, which is pretty common, actually. You'd be surprised how common that is. When you record yourself playing enough, you'll see it. I feel like the best players watch the ball hit their strings. You hear me say that a lot. And they try to watch the ball hit their strings, and then it just, as a result, you're hitting the center of the strings more often. You're hitting more effective shots. So if you get a chance to, on YouTube, watch that Roger Federer video. It's slow motion forehand. I've learned a lot from watching him play tennis. I've learned a lot about racquetball. So this is the right shot. Pinch. She's on the right side. You always want to pinch to the side that your opponent is on. She's on the right side of the court over here. So you want to pinch to the right wall, the right corner. People make the mistake of hitting pinches to the wrong side, to the opposite side that their opponent's on, and as a result, the ball goes right back to them. Okay, unless you roll it out. If you're hitting a perfect pinch, then of course it doesn't matter. But we can't always plan to hit the perfect shot. We have to hit the right shot, give ourselves the highest percentage chance to win. So pinch is the right shot. She's on the right side, you pinch to the right side. You're definitely going to have to work on those pinches though, because that's a front wall pinch. It's a front wall sidewall shot, and that's not what we want. We want the right side, the wall first, and right wall, and then front wall. English is hard. Right wall, front wall takes the ball, and I'll even demonstrate this. Right wall, front wall takes the ball over here, whereas, let's clear that out of the way. Front wall, right wall takes the ball over here. It just brings it back more to center court. So always hit your pinches into the walls, the side walls, not the front wall. Half lob, way too hard. Came off the back, but she hits a nice, easy cross court, and you just were ready for it. That serve's you gotta take some mustard off it. You're hitting it way too hard. Too much mustard. Let's see if you make the adjustment. This one's coming off the back too. Well, maybe not. You got a little lucky there on the side wall. There's that overhead again. Let's talk about your overhead mechanics, since you seem to like to hit it. I like to hit them too. I love them. But you can't hit them like that. Look at your rackets pointing down. If you get that racket up, this is where it should have been. Then you have just better mechanics. You can manipulate the contact point better. I don't hate this shot. I mean, it's a little high. If you're winning like 10-1 or 10-2, you take it to the ceiling. It's a close game, or if you're behind, you got to take some chances. So I don't hate the overhead pass. Now you hit it too far toward the corner. You want to bring that down the line, so your aim is actually going to be right about there. That's where you should be aiming. And you hit it too far to the left and too high, so it brings it back down the middle of the court. But again, I don't hate the shot. Just work on the mechanics. Now you got a nice, easy setup. Let's see what you do with it. Yep, that's the right shot. Beautiful. Looks like you're taking a little more control of this game, and the hustle seems to be keeping you in rallies and frustrating her a little bit, because you're getting to shots and you're winning rallies that you probably shouldn't have. That's another good shot there. When you're in the front left corner like this, there are a couple options. My first option would be pinch, but the ball's too high for you to pinch. I would have pinched it in the front left corner there if the ball's nice and low. But opponents have a tendency to move forward on these. And look where Maria's standing. She's so far forward. A cross court is not necessarily the best shot, just a regular cross court, because she can cut it off. But a wide angle pass, which is what you hit, is just such a better option from that position. I love the wide angle pass from the front left corner. Let's see if that's what you hit. Actually, I think that's what you hit. Oh, you hit the regular cross court, actually. And look, she can actually get to that. If you just widen that angle out, hit front wall, side wall with no bounce, you'd be surprised how many times it wraps around your opponent. So if you're going to hit a cross court, you have to hit it just perfect, the angle, and you actually hit a really good one there, and she wasn't able to get to it. So we'll give you credit for that. Ball's coming off the back, rack it up, and then, oh, nice shot. Cut that off, beautiful. Here's a huge mistake that people make in racquetball, and you didn't make it, Tim, so I'm proud of you here. Your opponent hits a weak shot like this, you have a chance to take it out of the air or volley it, as they say in some sports, like tennis and squash. You want to volley this. You don't want to wait for it. If you back up and wait for this to come off the back, two things happen. You're deeper in the court. You're hitting a tougher shot. And second thing that happens, she gets to relocate. She gets to get in position. So why not take this out of the air, keep her out of position, keep her behind you, and put it away. So I like that. Great job. That's called being aggressive. So we're winding down to the end of this game. You had a pretty significant lead here. Let's see how we close it up here. That should be a nice pass. Good wide angle. Wait for it. Excuse me, Maria. You're in the way. Good pass. And she couldn't save it. Nice job. There it is. Good stuff, Tim. So you battled back. You got game two. Some great shots in there. Some good potential. You know what I'm going to say. Get the racket up. And then work on all those things that we talked about for our sessions. And hopefully these videos have really shown you, all the things I talked about, racket prep and letting the ball drop and proper mechanics. To me, it's just such a huge advantage to be able to see them on video. I've learned so much recording myself playing and watching myself playing. I think it just made me such a better player because I was able to fix those mistakes. I was able to see them, and then translate them into my brain and say, okay, here's what I'm doing, and I got to be able to fix that. And I just feel like it's such a good way to get better. And I really hope these 2 videos help you get better. And I'm looking forward to our next visit for sure. All right, I will see everybody else on the court. Take care.